Good morning and welcome to the daily cyber briefing for Wednesday, the 9th of July. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Yesterday was Microsoft's Patch Tuesday, so various things to be aware of there. This month, no 0 days, which in many respects is a good thing. There are, however, 137 CVEs that have been patched. Some are critical. I think 14 are rated as critical, including there are important patches for SQL Server and some Office stuff that's out there as well. The Office one I think is interesting to me in that there are Office vulnerabilities which don't require user interaction in the sense of you don't even need to open the document. It will trigger via the preview. So just be aware, that one is definitely worth patching. I don't think that the impact is necessarily quite as high as some of the other things, but the likelihood has got to be fairly high, because if it's that simple that you can just send somebody something and the preview then triggers the vulnerability, that's got to be a prime target for attacking groups. So also bear in mind, it's Microsoft's Patch Tuesday, but it is also everybody else's Patch Tuesday as well. A bunch of stuff coming out from Adobe and lots of others. I think Ivanti also tend to release patches around this time as well. So usual recommendation: don't quite patch and be damned, but don't create a cottage industry of regression testing everything. If you're keeping on top of your patching, it should be fairly obvious if you patch something and something breaks. Just make sure you've got a rollback mechanism that you can invoke if that happens. The likelihood of things breaking through patching is much less than the likelihood of being hit by exploits to known vulnerabilities generally. So, we used to do stand-up testing, definitely. Key, absolutely critical 24/7 zero downtime systems would require a modicum of more detailed testing prior to release. And obviously follow your dev test pre-prod, whatever environments you've got, roll them through, but roll them through quickly. Just keep on top of this stuff. Okay, so an interesting scam that I came across in an article from Cybersecurity News this morning is talking about parking meter QR code scamming. Now, QR code scams generally referred to as quishing, which for some reason leaves, I don't know, there's something about calling it quishing that seems slightly unpleasant. I don't know, but yes, never mind. Look, we won't go there. So do be careful. There is a well-known scam whereby attackers will create labels that look remarkably like the official parking companies' labels, but with a modified QR code that sends victims to a malicious site with the intention of grabbing payment details. Which, by the way, you're also not actually paying for your parking. So even if it does, even if it all looks good, you've given away your card details, and you'll still get a parking fine. So do watch out for these. If you're uncertain about using, if you're uncertain that whether the parking information that you're using has been in any way tampered with, don't go to the site via a QR code, go to the site or use the official app, and then fill in. Normally, these sites have got reference numbers that you just type in the reference number, or actually a lot of the parking apps use geolocations, so we'll just offer you, the closest, or maybe the couple of closest parking locations, and say, is this the one that you're parked at, kind of thing. So just be careful. It's not specifically a parking scam. It is that going to a website via a QR code gives users none of the normal visual clues that something might not be quite right. It's difficult enough trying to work out whether the domain that you're looking at is a real domain or not a real domain. But if you're just looking at a bunch of pixels in a QR code, frankly, you haven't got a hope in hell. So, just be cautiously skeptical about any public QR codes that you scan. I don't scan them, that is. Right, and then finally from me today, there is a write-up in GB Hackers about scattered spiders, tools, tactics, and what they call key indicators. It's a good write-up, links out to further information around what the Scattered Spider group does. They're very active at the moment. This month they've been involved in breaches of Qantas, the airline, 6 million customers' details. Hawaiian Airlines, WestJet, have been targeted. They are the group that provided initial access to Marks and Spencers, and we think various other retail organisations in the UK. So they're a very busy group at the moment, very industrious group. So thoroughly recommend that you make yourselves aware of the TTPs of Scattered Spider, and make sure that you've got, at the very minimum, you've got some detection rules in place that will assist you with identifying if you are being targeted. Bearing in mind the starting point for a lot of, in fact, I think the key starting point for these guys is social engineering. So part of your defences need to be to train users to recognize potential social engineering attacks, and to give them the authority to challenge a little, politely, obviously, but especially junior members of staff are more susceptible to social engineering, because if they receive requests from somebody who appears to be senior in the organization, it takes some kahunas to say to the CEO, I'm not going to reset your password unless I can prove who you actually are, doesn't it? Especially if the response from the fake CEO is to kick off and threaten you with your job and all sorts of other stuff. You can imagine how this stuff goes. So yeah, have a little look at this. It is useful, just because we haven't heard anything for a week or so, a few days, doesn't mean that they've all gone away. They are there, they're very active, and it is worth knowing what they're doing. Right, that's all from me for today. Hope you have a good Wednesday, and